Remember, this show is available on both YouTube and Spotify. And before we begin, a word from our sponsors. This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the Mitt TV of Romeo. And you can contact them right now via email at mitt.tvromeo@gmail.com. That's mitt.tv@gmail.com. Today's Romeo Sports Recap Show, we're going to feature the Romeo varsity lacrosse team, and I'm here with head coach Jack Smith. And a lot of people, lacrosse has really come on lately, but a lot of people don't know that it's a Native American game invented by the Native American tribes to enhance the warriors' abilities, training, skills, and as a contest, and even had some religious implications to it too. But it's gained a lot of popularity over the years amongst especially the younger Americans, and now it's part of high school, college, and even I think there's some pro leagues that are up with guys playing in the lacrosse pro leagues. But is a training for warriors. I mean, if you ever watch a lacrosse game, it could get pretty rough and get pretty warlike. And so I can see now how the origins fit into the game. And Coach Jack Smith, you've built a little bit of a program here at Romeo. And can you tell us a little bit about your coaching philosophy, you and your staff? What kind of philosophy do you have as you coach this and develop these young men for varsity lacrosse?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from a culture standpoint, what we're trying to build is dedication, commitment, and just accountability. But from like a tempo standpoint, we like to play fast and not rush. The biggest thing that we've kind of come to find out is we're always going to be kind of below the bar when it comes to expectations from others. So we wear a saying on the bottom of our shooter shirts that says, "Why not us?" Which is, we're looking to, prove people wrong and bring that Romeo style of lacrosse, which is fast, aggressive. And I think it's starting to, especially over the couple of years, has grown exponentially, which has been a lot of fun to watch. So from a coaching standpoint, a coach's style, it's been a great time.
And your 2023 Romeo varsity lacrosse team is 7-5 this year. And tell us about the team itself, the culture, sort of the philosophy of the guys, the teammates, the building of a family type thing. Tell us a little bit about how that's kind of evolving.
Yeah, absolutely. I think from a standpoint of wins and losses, the losses hurt a lot more, and the wins mean a lot more. When I took over the program in 2019, it was kind of throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks, while in 2023, every game matters a little bit more. There's a lot of teams that we competed with now that we weren't even within 10 goals with, and now coming up this week, fighting for our first MAC Red Championship in program history has been a real treat. So it's been a lot of fun to see the program continue to develop, and especially in this season, having a full group of people I've been able to coach for 3 to 4 years. It's a little bit of a weird lapse because we did lose that season in 2020, which we spent a lot of time building up for. But from a standpoint of where we're at now and where we were there in 2019, it's been really fun and exponential growth.
And so let's talk about 2023.
Yeah.
You guys started off with like 3 straight wins.
Mm-hmm.
You beat Lance Cruz, Bishop Foley, Lance Cruz North, I believe. And, man, things were looking pretty good for you there right at the beginning. What were your thoughts when you guys were like 3-0? Did you really feel that you were as good as that record?
Yeah, I mean, we were beating the teams we were supposed to beat. I think on paper we were expected to be 3-0. And when we rolled into a formidable opponent, Detroit Country Day, who's probably going to be fighting for Division II state championship this year. So, the big thing we talked about at the beginning of the season was be completely patient during the games we're supposed to win and continue to fight for the games that we're trying to win. And when we played Detroit Country Day, it showed on paper that we had a lot of effort there, but we just weren't there systematically wise. And then kind of rolling in after spring break, just like setting better expectations to kind of flow into the rest of the season.
Yeah, for the 3 wins, you had 3 losses.
Yep.
That was one of them. Was Country Day, but we thought that you were going to win the last one of those games. Was the last loss of the 3
Yeah.
against Walled Lake Western? It looked like, I mean, you were ahead. It looked like it was in the bag. Kind of what happened in that one?
Well, for Walled Lake Western, we found it, continuing with the game before that with Rochester, kind of a similar outcome where we gained a lead and really carried momentum. But one of the biggest things about lacrosse is it's a game of runs. Our job is to take a lead, extend that lead, and stop their momentum. So when we played like a team like Walled Lake Western, who is very talented offensively, if they catch any fire, it's going to be a bonfire. And got to make sure that we're closing games in the third and fourth quarter, and I think that comes with a young offense. Guys like Mikey Lukowski and Joey Zyrek are carrying a group of 6 to 8 guys who are barely have any varsity experience. So just been working on that throughout the season just to kind of build and close the door in the third or fourth quarter.
Well, you broke the losing streak with a big overtime win against Port Huron United, a goal by Mike Lukowski.
Mm-hmm.
What was that feeling like?
I think that everything was set for us to lose that game, and the guys stayed resilient and they stayed in the game and focused. And I think on paper we're supposed to beat Port Huron. It's their first year in the MAC Red, but they're tough. They're not afraid to slide with some contact, and they fight every single inch. So being able to step up in the fourth quarter to maintain that lead and then win it in overtime was kind of the foot forward we were looking for in the season.
Yeah, we thought that would springboard into another victory against University of Detroit Jesuit, but that didn't happen, and there's several reasons for that. It didn't look like the guys also had their legs with them, I guess, in that game. But UD Jesuit was, I think, 1-1, or it hadn't been.
Yeah.
They were. I want to say a defeated team, but they didn't win a game,
mm-hmm.
And kind of how. What was it? You guys got down 2-0, and it looked like maybe you might come back at 3-1. But tell a little bit about that game.
Well, I think the biggest thing with the Jesuit game was definitely rolling off an overtime game, but we had 2 guys set into the concussion protocol the day before, which was tough to flip around into the next day. And we knew we were going to be down personnel, but we had an issue starting slow, and a team like Jesuit, who has an extremely strong strength of schedule, the record doesn't reflect their talent as much, and they are a team that relies on momentum. And we started slow, and we're coming off of a big overtime win, down personnel. So, it's a winnable game no matter what, but we just kind of were shortchanged and a little exhausted from the night before. So, would like to have that one back.
They play a tough schedule.
Oh, yep.
I mean,
Catholic League schedule.
Catholic League, they're out of state.
Yep,
They're playing teams from out of state, so they do. They all. Every high school coach will tell you, if you have a decent team and you play teams that are really better than you, and the tougher competition, your team will be better when it comes to playing teams that are probably equally matched. And I thought you were equally matched with them. For sure, but for some reason it didn't follow through. But you did come back on the winning track, got 3 straight wins again, 2 of which were against MAC Red rivals Eisenhower and Dakota, which was an 8-6 game.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that game. That was kind of a wild one.
I would kind of put on the books that Dakota game was probably the biggest win in our program history in the past 6 or 7 years. I'm a graduate of Romeo High School. I played for this lacrosse team, and then both my little siblings did. So I've been around the program for quite a bit, and I have not seen a Romeo lacrosse team fight back against a very talented Dakota team. They're coming back from winning the MAC Red last year with returning pretty much all their starters. So
you're down 5-2 at halftime.
Yeah.
How did that happen that you came back in that one? What was the key to that?
So Dakota has an extremely talented goalkeeper, and our defense from the Romeo side has kept us in a lot of big games. So we were just waiting for kind of like the dominoes to fall. We had some great shots on the cage, and we had some great momentum as well. The biggest thing about that game was we made some personnel changes, and Dylan and Drew Bosch are playing at the attack. And as you know from the hockey side, they're an electric group of guys, and they kind of found their stride.
Tough little guys.
Yes. Yeah, they're very exciting.
You had to describe them. They're very tough little guys, and they're pretty fast.
Yeah. They're and they kind of stepped up in the Eisenhower game, and it reflected up into the Dakota game. So we had the halftime talk about, we're giving this game away, so it's ours to take now. And I believe they only scored 1 goal in the second half or 2 goals in the second half. So it was a great defensive showing as always. Braden Walls played excellent, but from Mikey Lacrosse, Joey Zyrek standpoint, up into the Bosher brothers as well, from the offensive, it was a great showing to say the least.
And yesterday you had a tough loss against Lake Orion, who's a perennial top team.
Yeah.
But I think maybe the guys were looking forward to being on the show.
Yeah, I mean that's what they were.
Their heads weren't at that. Probably was it. I would think anyway. It would be for me anyway, and Madison too.
Yeah.
We would have the same feelings. But looking ahead, we've got Monday, May 1st, Grosse Pointe North. You play them, and then you play Grosse Pointe South, and that on Wednesday, and that's got to be for the MAC.
That's for the MAC Red.
Championship.
Yep. And this is the first year Lacrosse is having the MAC tourney, but this is Wednesday is going to probably be the MAC Red Championship for the regular season.
And you're out on the road then after that. You go out to Clarkston on May 6th,
Yep.
and then 12th starts the tournament.
Yep.
And then you're going to bye, you said, in the first
first round.
Yeah. So your first game won't be till May 15th, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do the guys feel about going into the tournament? What's the mood of the team?
I think from a scheduling standpoint, I wouldn't put any Oakland County teams this late in the season anymore, because now we make that kind of focus towards the MAC Red and towards the conference play. This Saturday we play Clarkson. They're, the 2-time Oakland County champions, but it's our cancer awareness game. So it's a big game for the program. Our youth program's gonna be playing in it. But from a standpoint of just focus, I think the guys are really focused on winning the MAC Red right now. And that's something we haven't done in Romeo Lacrosse history, to get our first, name on a banner and put it in the gym. So I think the spirits are really high. I think we're going to be playing down some personnel, but from a standpoint of can we run with these guys and finish all 4 quarters, is the ball's in our court now. So if we want to shoot that 3 and win the game, it's up to us.
Okay, well, you in other words, you have possession of the ball, so you get the last shot, which is great. That'll be great. It'll be exciting for Romeo varsity lacrosse. It'll be a good stepping stone to building a powerhouse in the future too. Let's talk about, speaking of the team, let's talk about some of the team guys. You've gotten great scoring from a couple of guys, in particular, number 77, Mike Lukowski, and number 44, Joey Zyrek. Talk about those two guys.
Mike has been a great asset to the program, a great leader for us. He's someone that kind of had to step into some big shoes as a sophomore on varsity, and he's grown exponentially from there. He steps up in big moments, and he's kind of like the lifeblood of the team. So this year it's been a lot of conversations of just getting Mike up to not carry as much, and Joey Zyrek has kind of been the nice little beneficiary of that. And we always kind of have a 2-headed monster at Romeo, especially in the last 4 or 5 years. So both of them have been awesome for our program, both as just general lacrosse players offensively and also as leaders.
And I got to tell you that some of their goals were some real lasers in there. And as I was walking around the track before the match, and one of the balls was laying there that got away, and I picked it up. That's a hard ball.
That's 100% rubber. Yeah, there's not.
I think you could break my leg if somebody hit me.
Yeah. I've seen some bruises, and I've had some bruises from just that lacrosse.
I mean, was not something I would want to stand in front of. I mean, it's almost like a hockey puck.
Yeah.
And it's just, I wouldn't want to be your goaltender. Let's talk about your goaltender, Braden Walls.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to be him.
Yeah. No,
no way.
Braden Walls he's one of those people that kind of rolled into the sport his freshman year and didn't know what he wanted to play, and we kind of gave him the goalie stick, and we're like, make sure you bring a cup to practice on Monday, and he really took the opportunity and ran with it. And there's a irony behind Braden Walls being the goalie is his mom is the theater director, and she was a teacher of mine in high school, so it's like almost full circle. And he has been exceptional this year. He's been, we have some great defensive personnel with seniors like Dom and Henry Johnson, but Braden has done an exceptional job filling that position. We haven't at Romeo had a really sound goalkeeper, and we've had some strong goalies that have serviced that position, but Braden Walls has kind of taken that step to the next level and really supported that defense well.
And going back to the offense, I mean, there's a couple players there that Caden Burrows in particular, that a few games that we watched this year, it looked like he gets the ball and then thinks he can run over everybody.
Yeah.
And he is a pretty big guy and pretty tough to get the ball away from. But he's been sort of a steady rock for you there on offense.
Yeah, Caden Burrows he's been a huge support. We're trying to make sure, at the beginning of the season when Seth Von Hittmeyer left, we wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to be all Mike. And then Joey Zaire kind of stepped into some shoes, and Caden Burrows has been another great option for us. Jacob Polis has played really well for the majority of the season when he's healthy. And, we have a lot of other guys rolling the box. Austin Finley has done a lot of good things for us. Freshman Landon Dolan, who's, filled a really big void from the transition midfield standpoint. And then guys who are playing roles like, Colin Martin and Vinny Toro and Dylan and Drew Basha stepping up in big roles now at the attack side point. So, from an offensive standpoint, we're trying to share the wealth as much as possible and share the love. And Caden Burrows sometimes sees red and just goes right to it. So we're trying to reel him in a little bit.
He's going to be somebody's good fullback.
Yeah. He's actually probably going to be the starting quarterback this year. So.
Yeah, that's what the rumor is. Talking to Coach Reines, that Caden may be the guy getting the nod. So
yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't get whacked too hard at the cross.
Yeah.
And, there's I wasn't the best kid when I was little, and I had beatings, but nothing like I've seen some of these guys go through.
Yeah, it takes a certain level of toughness.
There is no shame in whacking somebody over the shoulder on their stick and their arms. Anyway, enough of the violence. But you got some guys that play defense for you, and they're not afraid to hand it out either.
Yeah.
And Dominic Gianconin and Henry Johnson are two guys, and Jackson Rice as well.
Yep.
We watch those guys on defense, and I wouldn't want to be on offense against them.
Yeah. Well, Dom and Henry service both sides of the table on defense very well. Dom is he's an enforcer when you watch him play, but what Dom's biggest asset is he is the glue of the defense. He's a major communicator. He directs where everyone's supposed to be and where they need to be. And Henry Johnson is more in between the lines guy. He can pressure out anywhere on the field, and it is his operating table. And Henry Johnson's a surgeon with the stick, so both kind of do a great job of supporting both sides. And Jackson Rice has done a great job kind of filling that third defensive spot with Noah Sarich as well. And then rolling Brody Giacone out of the box has also been a great asset as well.
How is he compared to his brother?
They play two different types of the game, which has been a lot of fun. I mean, I came from a house of three brothers, and two of them play lacrosse, and all three of us play a different style in different ways. And Dom and Brody kind of approach the game two different ways. And I think Brody is a little bit more gun-ho when it's in your face, and Dom's a little bit more methodical and then becomes more of a brute when he's on ball. So they're both like kind of two different houses when it comes to it.
Well, I wouldn't want to take Dominic's wallet and have him whack me with that stick because I think I'd be in the hospital. But I noticed that Henry Johnson and Jackson Rice, they've taken balls away, and they've actually taken off downfield and got Romeo's offense started.
Yeah, Henry I think has 2 assists in the year, and he's I would assume getting close to leading their team in ground balls. Jackson's done a great job too. He's gonna. We're going to be filling a big void next year with Henry and Dom gone, and Jackson's the lone junior captain on the team. So he's going to be stepping into a big role next year, filling some pretty big shoes. But he's done a great job. Noah Sarich is another one. Noah Sarich has been, one of our best cover guys all year, and just trying to reel him in. But we're young. We're still young, and the older guys have done a really good job of kind of directing the young guys, and the young guys have done a good job of pushing the tempo and having to get reeled back in, which is what we wanted from a program standpoint.
Well, your defensive guys are tough guys, and they're not afraid to even knock people down. And have. Mm-hmm. And so that's got to be a comfort for Braden Walls in net, that he's got that kind of protection in front of him. A little bit about the Romeo lacrosse season. How do you what if you're interested and you want to play lacrosse? How does somebody go about? No, I mean, I'm not me.
Yeah,
not
I
me.
think you're a little bit past your timeline. They got men's league. Don't worry about it. from
They
a
have a wheelchair league?
yeah, they do. They got everything going on now.
No.
Yeah, you keep talking yourself into it, you might end up being there.
I might end up getting in there.
But from a youth perspective, we started the middle school team this year, and that is, lacrosse is, I think, the fastest game on 2 feet. It's kind of what people say around the country and around the world. But like to get involved, I tell everyone don't wait. Everyone kind of pushes it off. Like, let me get another year, or I'll start my freshman year of high school. But every senior who starts in high school says the same thing. I wish I started earlier. I wish I kind of brought this on. And we have a huge, plus in our program, having this kind of culture and this program kind of moving forward in the positive way where we have guys coming in, their sophomore, junior year and going to play college lacrosse, which has been a lot of fun. So I tell everyone, don't wait, get involved as much as possible, get in contact with me or Cody Smith at the high school, and we'll get you set on the right path. And no experience necessary, only a good attitude.
Well, there you go. And I have a doctor's note, so don't
yeah,
count on me
yeah.
To do that. Well, Coach Jack Smith, thanks for stopping by here
absolutely.
today and filling us in and getting us a little bit more detail on the Romeo varsity lacrosse team of 2023. Best of luck in the MAC Red championship game.
Thanks for having me, Tim. Appreciate it.
Today I am joined with Henry Johnson and Dominic Giancona, 2 members of the varsity lacrosse team for Romeo, 2 defensemen I will add. So welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Let's start out just by going over the season. You guys had a really strong start to the season, winning your first 3 games in a row, and you put up 40 goals total. So can you tell me about the parts of the offense that were clicking during those games?
I think everyone was kind of excited to get back out there. It was fresh and was kind of firing on all cylinders. So I think everyone was just ready to get back at it and was scoring at will.
Yeah, I think we were dodging really well and shooting really well, and I think it all just worked out well.
Yeah, and at the same time during those 3 games, you guys on defense only let in 7 goals total, which is pretty great for the start of the season. So can you tell me what the confidence was like amongst you defensemen and just in the locker room overall?
Yeah, I'd say we were playing really well. I mean, defensively, we were stopping the ball before it even got to the net, and when it did, Walls was making great saves. So I think it really all just worked out well together. That offense was working well in defense, and it really gave us confidence coming into the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'd agree with Henry. I mean, the ball didn't come over midfield much on those first few games. We kind of kept it on the offensive end, so that helped a lot with the low scoring for them on defense.
Yeah, and then you guys ran into 2 pretty tough teams after that one. You played Detroit Country Day and Rochester, and you struggled a little bit more after those first 2 games, but you guys ended up bouncing back in that Rochester game, and you kept it close at the end. So how did you end up clicking back together during those games to keep it a battle with Rochester?
During Rochester, we started off strong, and then we ended up coming out of halftime a little slow, and I think we reeled it back in the fourth quarter and put up some points and started stopping the ball well, but in the end, we just couldn't finish through.
Yeah, I mean, we started out really good that game and then kind of just took our foot off the gas a little bit, but we kind of kept it close there and played out to the end, so we were happy with that.
Yeah, and then that Rochester game did end up being the first of 2 games that you guys lost by only 1 goal, but that also led to your 3rd loss in a row for the team. So how did you guys come together to find your rhythm again?
I mean, after those 3 losses, we were kind of done with losing for a little while.
Right?
We were ready to get back into it, so I think we just had a talk at practice and said, we can't keep doing this. We got to start firing all 4 quarters and just compete well.
Yeah, I think everyone was kind of sick of losing and getting those
Yeah.
post-game talks about what we did wrong.
Getting yelled at a little bit?
Yeah,
Yep.
So I think everyone's just ready to start winning and start clicking back.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you guys hit that Port Huron game where you started clicking again, that OT win. How did you, what was the confidence like? How did that boost team morale after that one?
That was a big game. I think everyone in the locker room after was super excited. Just kind of felt good to be back and on another one in the win column. So everyone was excited, and that kind of led to a few game winning streak after that.
Yeah, we played really well defensively that game. I think in the fourth quarter we probably had a 4 or 5 minute defensive possession where we didn't let in any goals, and then we got the ball on offense to start the OT, and Mike put it home. So it was great.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then again, we came back to another tough battle with Detroit UAD Jesuit. Had a tough game all around that game, but you guys pulled it through the next day against Grand Blanc, 6-4 win. You came out really strong that game, really looked like a different team than the day before. So what adjustments did you make? What was the conversation in the locker room after that UAD game?
Yeah, I think at the UAD game, our heads weren't in it. No one was really ready for that game. We all kind of just didn't really think about it. So kind of had to relock in and then refocus for the next day. So just look past that UAD game and get back into Grand Blanc. And we did just that and came out firing and played all 4 quarters pretty well.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, post-game talk was not the greatest, so I think we realized we had to change something if we wanted to start winning again. And then Grand Blanc, we all played great, played good on offense because they have a good defense. We got 6 goals in, which we were happy with, and then holding them to only 4, we were very happy with.
Yeah, it was a great game, fun to watch, a lot of electricity, and you just were tired of getting yelled at by coach.
Yeah,
that
pretty
was
much.
the real. You guys were like, we just can't keep getting yelled at. We got to put an end to it. But you recently also had a 3-game win streak on the road against some tough MAC rivals. So, I mean, beating Eisenhower, beating Dakota, that had to feel pretty good, right?
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah, we haven't beat Dakota our whole time in high school.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's a huge win for us, and we've played probably the best game we've played all year defensively and offensively. So I think everyone was really happy with that game.
Yep, I would agree.
Yeah, great turnaround, right? And then what do you guys think you're going to do? We're over halfway through the season, only got a few games left. What are you guys really going to focus on as a team and individually to keep the pedal down and finish out with a winning record?
Yeah, I think everyone just got to heal up, make sure everyone's good and mentally on track to finish out the season. I think we're on a good pace right now and just got to finish out our last few MAC Red games and then our MAC Red tourney, and then it's playoffs time. So.
Yeah, I think we just got to focus on the small things like the effort, getting the ground balls, and just playing hard between the 40s. And I think we'll do well throughout the rest of the MAC games this week and then the tournament after that, and then look on to playoffs from there.
Yeah, and I mean, we got to comment on it because you did say heal up a little bit as you have your arm in a sling. So we do just got to touch. You're good, though. It's just a sprain just from yesterday. You're going to be back.
Yep, I'll be back for the MAC Red tournament. I'll be back this week, hopefully, so it should be all good.
Okay, and now you're both seniors this year. So you made it to the second round of playoffs last year. What are you looking for out of this season for your final round in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really hoping to make it to regionals this year and then compete. And I know we have Dakota in our region as well as Rochester, so it'd be nice to knock some of them teams out too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we got a little bit of a harder region, but I think we can compete with all those teams. So I hope we make it out of our region and compete a little bit, and that's all we can ask for.
Definitely. And since I said you're both seniors, can you both give me a favorite memory you have from? It doesn't have to be from this season. It could be overall. Could be from this season.
Yeah, I definitely see my favorite memory is beating Dakota this year because I think we've lost them 4 times just in my high school career. So finally getting the win and getting it my senior year was definitely best memory.
Yeah, I think I would agree with Henry. That was the best feeling we've had all year, and even for the past few years, it was a great feeling to have.
You have any fun team road trips? You guys got to give me the good stuff. What are the good memories?
Practices are always a lot of fun, just in general. I mean, Jack makes it a lot of fun. Doesn't make it a job to come out there. You actually want to come. So, and I mean, just eating with the team, all that fun stuff. That's stuff I'll remember definitely once I get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, just being with the teams, our team meals and film sessions are always fun to have, and just kind of a good bonding time with the teammates. So, I mean, really, any time I can be with those guys, it's just fun to be around them.
Feel like a family there, right?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. So also touch on it. Can you guys just share with me your post-high school, post-lacrosse plans?
Yeah, I'm going to Michigan State next year, and I'm study business, and maybe I'll continue lacrosse there, and then after college maybe, but as of now, it's just Michigan State.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Tiffin next year. I'm going to play lacrosse there in the spring. I'm going to study physical therapy.
Awesome. Glad to hear. Again, congrats on a good season so far. We look forward to watching you guys make your playoff run. Thank you so much again, Henry Johnson and Dominic Giacono, for joining us today.
Thank
you.
you.
Before we continue here on the Romeo Sports Recap Show, a word from our sponsors. This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the Mitt TV of Romeo. And you can contact them right now via email at mitt.tvromeo@gmail.com. That's mitt.tv@gmail.com. Now, back to the show. I'm with Romeo varsity lacrosse player here, the offensive star, co-offensive star of the Romeo varsity lacrosse team, Mike Lukowski. And Mike, welcome to the Romeo Sports Recap.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, well, we're excited to have you on here because we've been watching for the last couple of years, and you have some prolific offensive skills on the lacrosse pitch. And one of them is some of the moves that you make on the spin moves and the swim moves there. Where did you learn that stuff?
Yeah. I mean, like early on in my game, I definitely was a little slower of a player. So like these past couple off seasons, I've been hitting the ladder a lot and just running. So, and then I lost a lot of weight. So just got quicker, you know?
Well, that helps with avoiding defenders and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, the other question I got to ask you, we had the defensive players on here, Henry and Dominic, and they talked about defending. But what is it like, and I will never know this, what is it like to get, as an offensive player, getting hit with the stick?
It's terrifying.
Everywhere.
I mean, sometimes like.
Does it make you madder?
It definitely does. I mean, Dom talks a lot of smack and so does Henry, so it gets you going. But like the hits, I mean, you kind of get used to it after a while, but yeah, the bruises never go away and you always feel it. So.
And you have a propensity to drive to the net, and that always attracts a lot of whackers.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I get hot-headed, you know, so I run towards the middle of the field a lot, and I mean, it works out in my favor most of the time, I feel like, but it also doesn't. So.
What do you think about the big overtime when you had and you scored the winning goal against Port Huron United? You're here in the overtime. You got the ball. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, so typically, like, we go into overtime, and Jack comes up to me, and he's like, do you want to take it? And, I mean, for the most part, I always say yes. And then that game, I got kind of hot-headed, and I just took it to the house first 12 seconds, and it was crazy.
That was a great moment. And the whole team came out and rushed out on the field, and it was probably one of the high points of our broadcasts of Romeo Lacrosse this year, anyway. But you also played last year, and you were a pretty good scorer last year, and one of the better guys on the team. And how much do you think that helped you playing last year as much as you played for this year?
I mean, last year we had Seth Von Hiltmeyer, and he was kind of the star of the show, I guess you would say. And he just kind of taught me, like, through everything, like, trying to be a leader and things like that. So, I mean, he kind of got my play faster, so I've just been trying to, like, coach everyone up and get everyone else up to speed. So, yeah.
We got a little help this year with the scoring burden with Joey Zyrick.
Yeah.
Kind of describe him. What kind of a player is he?
I mean, he kind of reminds me of me in a way. He gets hot-headed, but he doesn't talk a lot, which you wouldn't really expect. But then he scores a goal and he gets pretty loud and excited. So, I mean, he's great.
You yourself and Joey too have a number of different angles that you fire the ball from. Like Hiltmeyer could do a great overhand one, but he also had a slinger.
Yeah.
And that's when do you know when to like bounce it up there or to sidearm it, or I mean, what do you?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the times it just comes down to where your stick's at, like in the play. Like if my hands are low, I'm gonna shoot it low most likely. So, I mean, a lot of it comes down to confidence too, just knowing like I can take the shot, pull it wherever. So you gotta kind of have an ego with it.
What kind of memories do you have from Romeo Lacrosse as you finish out your career with the Romeo varsity lacrosse team?
I mean, just like growing as a player and as a team. So like I came in like not the strongest player, and Jack's helped coach me up, and like all the other players and teammates have helped me become the player I am. So it's great. And then, I mean, I'm just excited for what's to come.
Coach Smith, what kind of a coach is he to play for?
He's probably the best coach I've had. He's more of like a friend than a coach, I would say, but
Does he take you out to Dairy Queen when you guys win?
No, definitely not that. He yells at me most of the time, keeps it pretty personal, but yeah, he's great.
Your goals for the rest of the season?
I mean, just help coach the other players and get them up to speed and just help build the program up, I guess.
What's your toughest moment in Romeo lacrosse history that you've had to go through that you would rather not repeat?
I mean, it was definitely the start of this season. I got put at playing X-Attack, which is something I've never done before, and it was a lot on me mentally, but then I kind of started to get the hang of it, and then I got switched back to midfield a lot. So now we've been trying to work myself in like on transition and things like that. So I'm just really trying to play all aspects of the game.
Explain to the people what that is.
So X-Attack is the position right behind the net, and it's a lot of like commanding and taking the ball yourself and doing things which I've never done before. So
almost like a quarterback.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, perfectly. Yeah. That's like the best way you could say it.
And then why did they move you back?
I mean, I kind of got unfocused back there because, I mean, I said I get hot-headed and I like to keep my emotions like in-game. I like playing fast all the time, so sitting back there I'd get kind of lazy and like not watch the play. So
I see. And you over 200 goals in your career at Romeo?
No, it's got to be way under that. I'm thinking over 100, but yeah.
That's a lot of goals.
Yeah.
What's it feel like when you put one in the net and you're, especially when you have one of your better shots?
Oh, it's great. I mean, you shoot the ball and you hear the net sting the corner, and it's like the best feeling ever. I mean, it never gets old. So yeah.
What about your teammates? Who do you kind of gravitate to as a buddy and have gotten a little closer to?
I mean, I kind of like float around everywhere, but I've been trying to like help coach these freshmen up. So Landon Dolan, I've been driving him to practices and like trying to coach him up. Same with Lincoln Lipisak. He's hurt right now, so he would probably be our lefty attackman. So yeah, I'm just trying to be a mentor for those younger guys.
Well, speaking of that, I'm sure you're going to have some mentors too. But what are your plans after graduation?
So for college, I'm going to Detroit Mercy to play college lacrosse, and I'm excited for that. I'm going to be studying business administration, hopefully getting my master's in that, and then we'll see where that takes me.
Well, Mike, best of luck to you the rest of the season.
Thank you.
And hopefully you can bring us a MAC Red championship.
I'll do my best. Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to recap all the Romeo varsity sports, and Madison Janabet and myself, we're going to go through some of the teams, and we'll start with baseball.
Yeah.
Romeo varsity baseball.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
They've had a strong start to their season. They most recently split the series 2-2 with Eisenhower, which is it's a pretty big accomplishment. Eisenhower is always a strong rival for Romeo, and we've got Jake Nuttall and Lance Jones, who have both been strong on the mound for the Bulldogs this season, while Matt Whiteman and Buster DeBull have been leading the team in RBIs. The team's next game is Tuesday, May 2nd at Grosse Pointe South, where they will begin their 3-game series.
And so they've got a winning record so far.
They do.
And that's good.
Had some rainouts this weekend,
Yeah.
so we're deprived of Romeo baseball over the weekend.
It's always tough when I have a rain out because I can't cut the grass, and then my wife gets mad at me because I sit around watching sports on TV. So she's not happy with me when it rains. So, and I can understand those guys probably getting a little upset that they can't play.
Yeah, but they'll be back in action on Tuesday.
Well, that'll be exciting. Is that going to be at Romeo, or is it going to be
That
here?
is going to be at Grosse Pointe South.
Grosse Pointe South. So that's down in
To drive.
what? Yeah, Vernier Road and something. But yeah, that is a drive.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you know when they're coming back home? They should be coming back home after that game.
I believe
right?
so. The next game will be at Romeo, yeah.
Okay.
But then we've got Romeo girls varsity soccer also having a great start to the season. They're 6-1-4 right now, and they have excellent goaltending from Ava Hill. She's had shutouts in 4 games so far, which is pretty insane. And then the 4 games that they've tied in as well have all been at zeros. So she's been posting shutouts in those as well, which is pretty dang impressive. They are next playing on Monday, so tomorrow. Again, they're away. They're at Grosse Pointe North, but you can go over and see some baseball and soccer.
And girls soccer. Well, we're going to feature the girls soccer team, the varsity girls soccer team here on the show, in the Romeo Sports Recap Show. So that'll be exciting. We'll have the coach in here and maybe a couple of players. And maybe Ms. Hill will come in and tell us all about her technique.
Tending the goal.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's got to be something special. She's got some shutouts. And so got to be pretty good.
And again, on this show, we discuss lacrosse and they're 7-5 on this season. So their next matchup is also tomorrow at Grosse Pointe North. So you can see soccer and lacrosse.
So Romeo is going to invade.
Yeah, we're invading Grosse Pointe.
Yes, so look out to you people in Grosse Pointe.
We're coming.
We're coming. Romeo's coming. We'll be riding the horses in, like a cavalry coming in there. And so yeah, we did talk a little bit about the varsity lacrosse team. They're going to be fighting for the MAC Red Championship coming up this week, so that's going to be exciting. Coach Smith would love to hold up a banner of a championship. That would
As with the players.
That would be one right there that we could get.
I imagine a good game for the team tomorrow. They're going to try to make up for that loss yesterday, get back on the winning streak. I think it'll be a good matchup.
Well, that'll be excellent. And I think we're going to do the Wednesday game. I know that for sure.
Yep.
And
Wednesday
so
game.
you can catch it right here on the Mitt TV or live stream it or however you want to do it. But Wednesday, we'll be doing it here on the Mitt TV.
Oh, yeah. And then we'll transition into some girls softball. We've got the varsity softball team. They're 4-3 overall in the season. Also experienced some rainouts this weekend. But Megan Myers and Reese Fountain have both been leading the team offensively so far. And the Bulldogs will play again Tuesday against Dakota at home.
Oh, and the folks come out here if you get this before Tuesday, go out there and support the Lady Bulldog softball team, and because Dakota's a big rival.
Oh yeah,
and
it'll be a good matchup.
It'll be fun to come out there and hopefully we whoop them.
Oh yeah, and then finally we've got girls tennis. Off to a winning start this season as well. They're 4-2 overall. Kayla Desguzman has been really good for the team at 4 singles. She leads the team in a winning record right now in singles at 4. And then Chase Janavet at 2 singles has also been very strong.
Who is Chase Janavet? I know that name. I know that last name. Who could that be? Is that maybe your sister?
It may be.
So she's pretty good.
She's doing really good, yeah.
You taught her everything she knows in tennis?
I can still beat her. Let's not let her get too carried away.
Okay.
We got to remember. But the girls also play tomorrow at Grosse Pointe South. So
like I said,
we're invading.
We got the wagons already hooked up, and we're just going to take charge of Grosse Pointe. Romeo people are going to come down there and support their Bulldog teams, right?
I will be there tomorrow. So
good. That'll be good. At least, you had the charge for us tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
I'll make my rounds.
Yeah, take the Romeo flag, and, down there, put on your car.
Oh yeah, full representation.
Boy, won't they be surprised?
I know. Just so excited.
and we'll be you're gonna be in the broadcast booth with us on Wednesday. Big day for the Romeo varsity lacrosse team.
Is that the game where they can clinch the MAC?
Yeah, that's the one we're looking at. So hopefully we can do that. Keep our fingers crossed and do anything if you have any kind of special good luck charms. Get them out.
Bring the Romeo flag.
Bring the Romeo flag. We'll have a sacrifice, some on the altar and try to whatever gods we
never
have
gets
to
the team going.
Whatever we have to piece to win, right? Whatever it takes to win, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Speaking about what it takes to win, you can watch us here on the winning program, the Romeo Sports Recap. Madison and I will be here, and next up, hopefully on our docket, will be the Romeo girls soccer team, and we'll get a better chance to get to know them a little better and find out the secret of their winning season. For Madison Janabet, I'm Tim Meyer saying thank you for joining us here on the Romeo Sports Recap. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to this episode of the Romeo Sports Recap Show, powered by the Mitt TV. Remember, this show is available on both YouTube and Spotify. You can subscribe to the Mitt TV YouTube page and click the notification bell to stay up to date on the latest episodes of the Romeo Sports Recap. Or you can find us on Spotify and follow our podcast, Romeo Sports Recap. From the Mitt TV, I'm Tim Meyer here with Madison Janabet, signing off with a final word from our sponsors. This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the Mitt TV of Romeo. And you can contact them right now via email at mittt.tvromeo@gmail.com. That's mittt.tv@gmail.com.